Nico Harrison was finally fired by the Dallas Mavericks. 9 months after the most shocking trade, not just NBA, but probably sports history, where the Mavericks sent Luka Doncic to the Lakers, essentially for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first. Yes, there were other pieces, but those are not as important. It was just one of the most bizarre trades you've seen, and Dallas Mavericks fan base was up for uproar. Ultimately, first of all, even though it's been 9 months, I'm still shocked that trade happened.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
You don't
it's
trade.
not feel. It doesn't still feel real.
You don't trade
to a
Luka
degree.
Doncic. You know, obviously, it's not freaking real. One, I guess it's a little bit more unreal for you because he's playing on your favorite team.
Yeah.
As well.
That's just,
But at the end of the day, when you're looking at the situation here, ownership wanted a change. They used Nico Harrison as that change for Luka Doncic. They didn't want to pay him that super max. It's just simple as that. They went cheap, and overall, they made Nico, and Nico found an excuse that, yeah, it was his defense. He's not a full, complete player. And you ended up trading for a guy who's an injury-prone 33-year-old in Anthony Davis, and now Anthony Davis is out injured. So that's just to no one's surprise. And because he's not playing, Kyrie Irving's already out. What do you expect this Mavs team is going to do? Exactly, absolutely nothing. Hence why Nico Harrison got fired. Overall, again, it was going to backfire at one point. It may not have backfired last year, especially when the Timberwolves beat the Lakers in the first round and you guys got Cooper Flag. But at some point, this shit was going to get to you.
so, I'm going to start with Nico first, and I'm going to get to ownership in a second. Does Nico deserve to be fired? 100% yes. The minute the trade was proposed, it should have been a firing off the bat. One thing people gotta remember: Mark Cuban's no longer the owner. So when we say ownership, it's not Mark Cuban, it's Patrick Dumont. So even though we thought Cuban still had basketball ops, apparently he does not. So because he is the most famous owner in terms of basketball because of Shark Tank, Mark Cuban, and all that stuff. But going back to Nico deserving to be fired, I understand when people say he deserved a little bit of a leeway this season because Anthony Davis went down hurt. Kyrie Irving is injured. So you cannot really, we still thought this team was going to be good. Like, realistically, when healthy, this team is supposed to be a playoff type team. It is a win now type team, but it should challenge. You got Cooper Flag and all that. But obviously, like I said, Kyrie Irving going down for the year. Anthony Davis ended up getting hurt. And, people thought he should deserve the leeway. He doesn't. Simple as that.
Doesn't.
Not because of the Luka trade. I'm going to put that trade to the side. Number one reason, forcing Anthony Davis to come back to play on the calf when doctors had to stop you from saying, hey, this guy could literally tear his Achilles just to save your job. Your job wasn't going to be saved regardless, right? That just makes you a bad person at that point. You're selfish and you're thinking about yourself in that sense. So that's number one. But number two, prior to the Luka trade, you traded away Kristaps Porzingis.
What?
No. Kristaps Porzingis. And I know he wanted out. There was some friction there and all that. But the return was Davis Bertans and Spencer Dinwiddie. I'm sure, yeah, I'll give you, the only reason I'll give you a little bit of edge to that is because, he wasn't going to be a buy low guy. There was friction and he wasn't working.
But he also did make some good moves.
No. I'm going to get to that in a second.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot more bad moves than good moves. Yeah. But right after that, you did not extend Jalen Brunson. Now, Jalen Brunson, it wasn't even the contract he got from the Knicks. Now, I get it. Jalen Brunson may not have been exactly like he was with the Knicks, but before he left, he had a damn good playoff run. He was still your secondary ball handler after Luka, and he was really, really good for you guys. That was another one. Post-Luka trade, you traded away Quentin Grimes and a pick, I think it was a second-round pick for Caleb Martin. Quentin Grimes is now balling in Philadelphia. He's a younger player and a far better player than Caleb Martin is, even though Caleb Martin obviously did well with the Heat at the time, and then obviously ended up signing with the Sixers that year. So those are moves that were obviously terrible. Now, the good moves, which ended up being all bad now, were because he redeemed himself by drafting Derek Lively. He got Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington.
Kyrie Irving.
No, I know. I'm getting to that. He got Kyrie Irving to replace the Jalen Brunson bad move as well, and he was on a buy low situation, and it worked out for him. So essentially, you built the team meant for Luka Doncic, and now all that goes downhill in the trash because the team you built for Luka Doncic, you redeemed yourself, you were looking good, you traded away the guy you built the team around.
At the end of the day, look, it obviously does come down to the Luka situation. which we all know what it is. But for the people saying that he deserves some leeway this year because of his team getting injured, and my counterpoint to that is he doesn't, because it's not because of Luka. It's because he made a team.
For Luka.
No. He made a team to win now.
Yeah.
This team doesn't have time. It doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if they're injured or not. At the end of the day, time's still going to go. Time's not going to, their championship window is not going to stop for anyone, no matter if you're hurt, no matter if you're healthy, right? Kyrie Irving's not getting younger, and coming off of ACL, we got to see what he is as a player now. Can he move at the same level? Can he be shifty at the same level? Anthony Davis, we already know, is an injury-prone player. So at the end of the day, why is anyone surprised that he's not healthy? Cooper Flag, yeah, is he taking some time to get adjusted? 100%. He's a rookie. It makes freaking sense.
He's 18.
And he's 18, right? He's not going to come in and freaking save everything.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, he is a young guy. He's a rookie. He's finding his way in the NBA, no matter how good he was supposed to be or projected to be. So when you're looking at the situation, he doesn't deserve leeway because he built this team to win now. This expectation he set out for ownership and to everyone else in the world now is that I just cut our championship window by like 10 years and making that championship window for the next 2 or 3. But injuries not going to stop that time. It's still going to eat into that window. Cooper Flag's development is going to eat into that window. It's just a situation where, yeah, one, like he built a team for Luka, don't get me wrong. But number 2, he built a team to win.
Yeah.
People, coaches, GMs, and just people in position are in the biggest hot seat when they set out an expectation to win and they don't win. That's when people get fired, or people should get fired. And at the end of the day, we're not saying that, like, at the end of the day, it sucks. You're losing a job.
Yeah.
For sure. No matter who you are, no matter if you made mistakes or not, like, it sucks losing a job. Don't get me wrong. But he settled an expectation that this team is going to be better post-Luka trade.
Yeah.
This team is even better defensively post-Luka trade. And this team is more well-rounded and going to win soon. That's not going to happen. That's not happening. And that's when people get fired.
And yeah, he got fired.
And eventually
On
it
top of
led
that,
to it.
here's the thing. Now I'm going to transition to ownership and slightly here in a second. But to your point for that, at the end of the day, the team was built for Luka, right?
Yeah,
and
that's true, yeah.
When now, 2 years after making, now I guess a year last year after making the championship, the team, the guy, a superstar, quote unquote generational player. People obviously use that term lightly lately, but in terms of like one of the greatest players in the NBA, top 3 NBA finalists the year before. The reason you got to the championship and the reason why the one guy who wasn't too bad against the Celtics, you traded that guy away. There's no surprise that guys like Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, our numbers are down because the type of player Luka is, you have to build a certain type of team around him. And like to your point earlier, yeah, he made some good moves. I commend him for that. He realized he made some mistakes. He fixed that, only just to throw it all in the trash bin once
By trading Luka, yeah. At the end, that's the ultimate move. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, when he started out, like you said, he got a bag of peanuts for Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah.
And he didn't re-sign Jalen Brunson. But then after that, he followed it up that year. At the end of the day, like that year was a GM masterclass from Nico Harrison.
Yeah, like drafted well, except for maybe Olmax didn't turn out, but like
okay, obviously like a year and a half because one, he got Kyrie Irving. I know they didn't make the play-in even for that.
Yeah,
and then that led up to some moves where they weren't the greatest, and they got guys like PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford to help round out their depth and get some 3-point shooting and some defense. Getting guy like Derek Lively. And like we saw that run in the Dallas Mavericks run where one, it was just like how Luka and Kyrie were playing off each other. It was kind of like, all right, your turn here, next possession, my turn. And it was just going because they're able to create so much, get into the paint, and then create for guys like PJ Washington in the corner 3 for him. Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, alley-oop pass. Like literally, like the alley-oop was a literal play call for them. And it worked because the type of player Luka is. And the type of player, I don't see Kyrie is too, but like more so obviously Luka and his playmaking. So obviously this guy made good moves. He had a great stretch. It's just that I don't know what caused it, that he just had to throw it all away because of this one pathetic trade.
So obviously some people are saying that he's a scapegoat to the ownership thing. And this is when I'm going to bring ownership now. Obviously Nico deserved to get flamed. He still deserves to get flamed. I get that. I'm going to move on.
No, but that's one thing where, yeah, he deserved to get flamed for a trade. But even if he was forced to make that trade, right? why did he have to act like a dickhead after?
Exactly. That's what. So I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that point because it ties into
He
ownership.
didn't have to act like a dickhead after.
So he acted like the stuff he was saying in terms of this was my vision when Cooper Flag.
Yeah,
he got the first overall pick, but
he just disrespected Luka.
And that too, yeah.
Yeah, he just didn't say,
his comments
good luck.
afterwards didn't make sense. Like the whole, it was not part of your vision to get Cooper Flag. Simple as that. You were the 11th pick. You were a playing team. For whatever reason, you got lucky. I'm not saying it's rigged, but I wouldn't. If a report comes down 25 years down the line, next year, whenever the report comes out that it ended up being rigged, it's not going to shock anyone of what happened. So that's number one. Number two, the disrespect you said, like, out of shape, blah, blah, blah. But that's also ownership. Now, ownership does not get absolved from this. Shams did say yes. It was a Nico Harrison trade. He wanted this to be done. He's the one who proposed it to ownership. Ownership went for it. So based on reporting, yes, it's all on Nico then, right? But at the end of the day, your ownership. Listen, I respect the ownership that lets the basketball people do their job, right? Because we obviously, us being Canucks fans, we've seen situations where ownership gets involved and other teams and all so on and so forth, or vice versa, where they don't get fully involved into learning the system. Like obviously, this is why as Colts fans we love what the Irsay daughters are doing because they're fully involved and want to learn everything. This is where I blame ownership in a sense that once you were given, maybe you're not big basketball people. Not every ownership group, especially new ownership groups, are into that sport. They just want to have a sports team. But even if you do get a sports team, you should learn about that team. You should know what the players are like on your team. You should be some sort of casual fan of the sport to a certain extent. Luka Doncic was not a small name. Now, the move that Nico Harrison made after, the Caleb Martin for Quentin Grimes trade, that one, okay, ownership might not know how good Quentin Grimes was, how good Caleb Martin is. That's where Nico Harrison fully deserves the blame because that's his job. He needs to know basketball, right? But when you're telling me that if Les Snead, right, Kansas City Chiefs guy, whoever the Kansas City Chiefs guy goes to their new owner, if they had a new ownership, hey, we want to trade Patrick Mahomes. He's aging a little bit, but like I know he's good right now. But this guy right here, Tom Brady is available. He's a winner. We want him on his last year of the deal or whatever the case might be. I know it's not a good comparison, but I'm just saying, sorry, Tom Brady aside.
Because Tom Brady's a fucking goat.
Okay, sorry.
You picked the wrong guy. It'll be like Phillip Rivers or something.
Yeah, like I'm going to say so maybe like Joe Flacco, Phillip Rivers, whatever, these guys. And you do it. It's kind of like to that point. You need to know that like this guy means that much to Dallas, like the city itself. Like Luka means Dallas. When this trade gets first heard by a fan base, when we instantly thought Shams was hacked, Shams was hacked, or Luka requested a trade, right? That's the two things that you got from this. The fact that he didn't want to get traded, and the return was that. The fact that you didn't know how much Luka meant to your franchise, and we were talking about Nico Harrison disrespecting Luka. The ownership came out and said, like, there's guys that work hard like Kobe and Jordan and all that stuff, pretty much ruining your character. Not only you traded away Luka Doncic, you put this guy like you give him a villain arc in a sense that like he went out and you made him should Luka be in shape and all that 100%. I'm not disagreeing with that. But you gave him the extra motivation that he wants to destroy you at every cost now he gets. And the Lakers right now are doing really good. The Mavs are not. So to the point where like they do not get absolved from this at all. They're 100% to blame equal as Nico Harrison because you are the guy, you're the ownership group that is going to be known as the guy that passed on, that traded away a top 3 star, a potential generational star in Luka Doncic because that like you're just like you just went with it and all that stuff.
I just can't. Okay, obviously it's ownership. They can't fire themselves.
Yeah.
So obviously they're gonna fire Nico Harrison, but I just don't understand how like they thought this was gonna be a good move in a business perspective. Luka's a moneymaker. Yeah. Everyone knows Luka.
So the fact that they don't know what
and the fact that he's also European.
Yeah.
Which means he has the
Slovenian market completely.
Yeah, he has American market and he has a Slovenian and the European market.
No, the European general, but especially Real Madrid.
And
Real Madrid. Former Real Madrid
that's where European comes in. It's not just Slovenia.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, like, if we talk about specific like niche sports, it's Slovenia and Madrid.
Yeah. So obviously all of that, I just didn't understand like how they thought it would be a good even from a business perspective. I know they had to like pay him a supermax, don't be wrong. Yeah. But this guy's gonna fill seats. This guy's gonna bring in jersey sales and all that stuff.
Worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide, not just USA.
Or Dallas and whatever, yeah.
But yeah, obviously this is the big stuff happening in Dallas. So just to round off one last thing here, Luka Doncic is having like 30 plus points for the LA Lakers he's leading the team without LeBron James as well. I know him and Reeves are doing and the team itself is doing a great job, and JJ Redick are doing
in a different video.
But overall, that just to round it out. But like we gotta talk about what's gonna happen now.
Before we get what happens next though, ownership supposedly, I don't know if you saw this clip. Shams is like, he was caught on a video where he was talking to a guy, courtside fan. I don't know how the whole story ended up going down. You guys could Google that. But like wearing a Luka jersey, Lakers version, and pretty much saying like, he told the fan like, yeah, I made a big mistake.
No fucking shit.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, the Mavericks players do not deserve this, because now you're at a home game, you have a close game, and Cooper Flagg's on the line, and you're just hearing chants of fire Nico while it's a close game. So it's pretty much a road game for every fan base. So to the point where ownership had to fire him, because like it also was the most negative energy you could get on the fan base. Like he was not fired on the off season, whatever. Like he should have been fired then. But to carry that into the new season and now ruining your at least chances, it's at the beginning of the year, it's messed. Like at least he acknowledged a mistake, but it's still a horrible thing.
It doesn't matter, man. It
doesn't matter, because you
ain't getting him
now
back.
The fan base is gonna be happy, but at the end of the day, now this is where we're gonna transition in a second here. You're not getting Luka Doncic back. You're not gonna get the new GM Michael Finley, who is the interim at the moment, is not gonna call Rob Pelinka, hey, is there a refund policy for this? Like simple as that, right? But before we move on to see what's next for the Dallas Mavericks, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. We're almost at 1,100 subscribers. We want to get to that as soon as possible. So make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, the post notification bell, and comment down below, especially if you're a Dallas Maverick fan, what do you think should the Dallas Mavericks do now in the future? And this is where we're going to transition right to it right now. They literally have two options. As either they still keep the team as is and try to make a win now team because you made that move, or do you go full on rebuild, sell pieces, because there's a lot of rumors about Anthony Davis and even Kyrie Irving at the moment, and I'll bring up the salary cap table in a second. I feel like we both know what the answers should be and what our answers are going to be, but the trade is already bad. Right, at the end of the day, it's already bad. You're not gonna get Luka back. You might as well just like go full on. In my opinion, the answer should be rebuild, because you might as well just get the assets, build around Cooper Flag. You got lucky, you got Cooper Flag in your system. You do not have many picks that you control, so you need to get some of those pick assets back. And on top of that, at least with this upcoming draft class, it's supposed to be a very good one. Obviously, I'm not like we both are not like prospect guys, but like there's three guys that are supposed to be really good. Darren Peterson from Kansas, who's a point guard, shooting guard. Cameron Boozer, yes, son of Carlos Boozer, is a power forward over there at Duke. And AJ Debonsta, who's a small forward at BYU. These guys are supposed to be the top three picks. I don't know what order they'll end up falling into and all that. That's something we'll obviously watch as the college basketball season started, and we'll see how that ends up going. So you want to pair at least Cooper Flag with one of these guys, and then you guys, listen, the thing with basketball is if you do it right, you get two solid picks and you develop them properly, you should be back in the mix in no time.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, the answer is they need to go out and rebuild. And what's your answer for that?
Well, 100% is a rebuild.
Just
unless they go on some sort of run right now, which is gonna
they get the negative energy out of the air.
Yeah, just somehow like get on a run right now, because obviously they are a team to win now. But you're in a situation where if it's not happening, like at the end of the day, like you said, you cut the championship window down by so many years that you're basically at the end of a championship window. That's what they're built as. So, but to that, like even if they go on a run, you don't have Kyrie Irving for the year, and you don't have Anthony Davis for the year. Or no, sorry, Anthony Davis is probably going to be out for a while, and he's going to get ownership granted permission to come back. So even if they go on the run, it's going to be with their current squad, which means they still could rebuild while on the run. The run could be...
Because their run is not going to be a championship. Let's just be honest.
I know, but like at the end of the day, okay, I'm thinking in their perspective.
Okay,
right?
That's fine, yeah.
Like at the end of the day, we can't just be here and like rebuild. At the end of the day, they're not going to listen to us. Who the fuck are we? Well, we're pretty good though, so keep watching. But overall, like you're in ownership. At the end of the day, the biggest thing is they want the stadium, they want seats filled. If they go on a run, get Anthony Davis back, you have some sort of fire in your team, and obviously that run is probably going to be if Cooper Flag figures it out and goes ballistic like we kind of expect Cooper Flag to go in his NBA career. So if that happens, then they're not going to move on quickly just because they're going to, at the end of the day, because the biggest, obviously, coward move is doing that trade and just blowing it up right after. Right? I know you got
there anymore.
Yeah, I know, but at the end of the day, the ownership was 100% part of it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. So I just think from their perspective, if they go on a run here, and obviously if that run happens, and Anthony Davis comes back, they're gonna experiment it for the rest of the year. I know that for a fact. Well, I don't know it for a fact, but like that's what I think is gonna happen. But overall, that means if they're going to run, like obviously, when you're looking at the current team right now, they're not going to go and run. And like you said,
they're 3-10.
Like you said, they gotta trade away these pieces because they don't have future assets. And right now, all you have is basically for the future Cooper Flag, and then Derek Lively at your center position, Max Christie. So that's where I'm looking at Peterson, the guard from Kansas, to facilitate this offense, and obviously you're gonna need picks to make that happen.
So that being said, like listen, you don't need to be the worst team in the NBA. Literally, ever since they did the whole linear, like the more whatever the new draft lottery process is, the worst team hasn't ever gotten the first pick. I think in the last couple of years they got like
fifth. 5, yeah.
Yeah. So, like Dallas themselves jumped from 1.8% chance, and they ended up getting it. Not saying that it's gonna happen every year. You shouldn't be following that trend, but at the end of the day, you're 3-10. Listen, the West is a gauntlet at the moment.
Bro, they're not doing it. Yeah, we know it. We're not doing it.
I agree with you. Okay, maybe ownership thinks that. We think that's going to be wrong if they decide to
that's if it's a run.
Yeah, that's my point. But at the end of the day, ownership might still be like, well, Anthony Davis will come back and he'll help fix certain things or whatever the case
they might
be.
Still do that too, yeah.
Yeah. But my point is now let's just talk about what we think should happen and what should they do. Because at the end of the day, whatever GM they hire, whether that they promote Michael Finley or they get a new guy, he's got to make the decision. And the decision should be, listen, at the end of the day, you do not have a squad that's going to, unless Cooper Flag turns into a superstar by the end of this year, and you could put him with Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving next year, then that's a different story. We doubt that's going to happen. But let's talk about it. Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving both have after this year, another year left on their contract, and then the year after, they both have player options. Anthony Davis at $62 million, Kyrie Irving at $42 million. Kyrie Irving has no incentive to come back this year. There's no point. Your team's going to be bad. There's no point rushing your injury to come back and risk getting hurt even more. So there's a chance that he will literally be done for the whole year. Maybe the same thing might happen to Anthony Davis depending on how this next stretch goes. Now, Klay Thompson has 2 more years. He's at 35-year-old right now. Sorry, 1 more year after this. No options after that. And then you got Gafford locked up for the next 3 years after this year. And then PJ Washington's contract extension kicks in after this year for another 4 years and all that. And Derek Lively, you eventually got to pay him and see what ends up happening. Listen, start off with Anthony Davis. That's the big name that's getting talked about in the market to get moved. Listen, he still has some value. We know he's not going to have the same value as once the Lakers got him and how you traded away Luka to get him. But he still has enough value to get like a little bit better version of what you guys gave up for Brandon Ingram. Like maybe a better piece that could be there. Not saying like, oh, would you guys trade Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Wayne? Not like something like that, but like solid roster players. Maybe a young guy, like maybe not the promising young guy, but like has a potential type, like a Max Christie type young guy, plus a couple of picks. Teams will give that out. If he gets bought out, that's just a disgrace. Simple as that. He still is going to bring value. I'm looking at you guys. You guys need a big that will help you guys out a lot. I'm looking at Golden State. Golden State would be, I think, a really good fit, perfect fit. Obviously, Lakers should kind of get involved a little bit. We know that's unrealistic to a point. But again, he could come back, make that big three a real thing. So those are the three. There's another team I was thinking of, and I forgot who that could use his services. So there's gonna be a market out there for him, and he's obviously said he wants to go back home to Chicago as well and play, whether that be in the offseason whenever he's a free agent, because either he might accept that $62 million or he might reject it and sign like a 3-year, $100 million contract. So at least he gets $100 million guaranteed. It might not be his 58 per year, 50 plus million per year contract. But all that being said, with Anthony Davis strictly, you need to look at possibilities to move him. You guys are not going to be good. He's going to put a team like Golden State Warriors into elite contenders if when he's healthy on the court, because when he is on the court, he is still a monster. I know the eye injury has affected his offseason work, and was a little bit out of shape to start the year.
Bro, he's just not healthy. It's as simple as that.
But, I'm saying, but,
there's no point in going to his injury history.
But I'm not going through his history. I'm talking about what it is right now.
Yeah, what it is right now is that when you're gonna get a guy that's gonna do something for you. It's just simple as that, and that's all you ask for.
Yeah,
that's why you're gonna get. So obviously, yeah, buying out is stupid. You should be able to get a decent rotational piece, or a solid rotational piece.
I'm not calling him a rotational piece.
No, I'm talking about like in return.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You should be able to get a decent to solid rotational piece and a first round pick. Like you should be able to get that for him, because at the end of the day, he does have the ability. He can anchor a defense when he wants to play offensively. He will play offensively, obviously, because he is very inconsistent in that regard.
But defensively, he's a monster.
Yeah, he's an absolute monster. Just don't play him against Wemby, because we already saw that story already. But that's what happens when you're getting older. But overall, Anthony Davis is going to be a piece worth trading for contending teams, 100%.
I saw a trade out there where like him and Wemby front court duo.
Imagine.
Talk about getting it, no baskets at the rim at that point.
Yeah.
But that's the Anthony Davis side of things. Kyrie Irving's a weird one.
Okay, here's the thing with Kyrie Irving. We saw this guy when Luka got traded elevate his game, literally. But this guy took another level. Obviously, the big question mark, the big caveat is the ACL injury. How do people recover from major injuries? We don't know. We haven't seen Kyrie Irving go through that process yet. And obviously, him being in his 30s, might be more difficult. But then again, we saw Kevin Durant in his 30s recover from Achilles injuries, and he's playing still like Kevin Durant. I do expect the same thing for Kyrie Irving. I think he's going to come back and he's going to be like Kyrie Irving. But the difficulty, it's just, you got to figure out a direction. Because at the end of the day, if it's rebuild, he has to go.
Yeah.
If it's you can't have this situation where you trade away Anthony Davis, but you don't trade away Kyrie Irving. That just can't happen.
Exactly.
That's impossible. So obviously, that's just a decision that their front office has to make, because obviously we're in the boat of rebuild. So Kyrie Irving situation is not tricky in terms of what we're gonna do with him. In our minds, we're saying they should rebuild. If Anthony Davis is getting traded, I'm going to trade Kyrie Irving as well. There's just no debates about that.
Is it easier or harder to trade Kyrie Irving because he's going to come off a torn ACL? He is known for his like shiftiness, like the dribble package and all that. And like, we know how Kyrie Irving plays. How much of that's going to hinder him? Keep in mind, he's older than Anthony Davis.
Yeah. So, yeah, obviously it's tricky in terms of injury, but like it's still going to be tricky to trade.
I mean, people are still trade for him.
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, he should, in my opinion, if I'm going off recent play, he should bring a better package in than Anthony Davis for sure.
I'm gonna say similar packages.
I think you could get a better package for Kyrie.
Is there a world ECA package deal? I don't think so. But
that'd be so much money. Yeah, just to like for a team to take on. But yeah, overall, I think Kyrie Irving has been the better player the last like year and a half or so, and I think he has been really good. And obviously, the ACL injury is gonna be the big question mark, and how they work around that, and to see his true value. But it's definitely going to be the better package than they have to give away to get him originally.
Yeah.
So like overall, like I think they should be able to get something good for Kyrie Irving.
Teams that need a point guard. The Phoenix Suns, who are looking good at the moment. Reunite with KD. The Houston Rockets with the Fred VanVleet injury at the moment. But again, we don't know what Kyrie Irving's status is going to be this year. Overall, in the East, I'm looking at Orlando. Right, an upgrade over Jalen Suggs, depending on what type of guy you're getting. Obviously, Jalen Suggs defensively is a monster. Offensively is what I'm talking about, and we'll see. Listen, even like Anthony Davis, Kyrie's not going to Boston. We know that, but like Anthony Davis does not want to play in Boston. His dad has said that, like, no. But again, they need a big over there as well. But those are the two big guys. But regardless of that, Klay Thompson, need to move him. Simple as that. He was there. First of all, Klay Thompson probably wants to move because he came there for Luka, and Luka went to the team that people were linking Klay Thompson to. $16 million, $17 million. I know he's not having the greatest year this year, but we know
he just gotta go. Doesn't matter what it is. He just gotta go.
This is where it gets a little tough. Daniel Gafford, now including this year, 4 years, including this year for PJ Washington, 5 years. I think those guys are really good players that will bring Daniel Gafford for the Lakers will make a lot of sense. Simple as that, right? As good as DeAndre Ayton's playing, but
a lot of people for the Lakers make a lot of sense.
Oh, I know that, but I'm just saying in terms of like reuniting with Luka or going to the teams that need a big in general, right? So, and these guys are 27 years old. PJ Washington gives you the stretch ability. especially from the corner 3 spot. Even though they have these contracts, 21 million, 22 million, the cap's gonna go up. They're still gonna, like, for a contending team, I think that's not bad. We saw what PJ Washington was able to do in the playoffs.
I mean, yeah, like, no, this is the clear evidence here. We saw what PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford did to the Dallas Mavericks when they were first acquired. That's the evidence.
Yeah.
That is literally the proof you need for,
and you're gonna
proof any contending team needs, that if a guy like this is either gonna help you or not, you just gotta look at that and what they did for a team that they elevated into a contender.
And you don't have to worry about contracts with these guys that are coming up. They're locked up. They're solid rotational pieces. So that means,
that's also like you. That's also a wait. I won't say wait and see, but like just as a wait. Like Dallas doesn't have to get rid of those guys.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
They should if they're gonna rebuild.
Yeah, that's true. But like at the end of the day, like when you're looking at the main movers, right? At the end of the day, you're looking at trade deadline. You're looking at Davis and Thompson getting out here. Off season, you're probably looking at Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Right. And then maybe next year's deadline, maybe in the off season, you're looking at Gafford and PJ Washington potentially.
So obviously, it depends on what the offers they get during the year for Gafford and Washington. It can't be like, oh,
that is like they don't need to rush that. Like at the end of the day, if you don't believe the package is good or worth it, don't do it.
Obviously, we'll see what the package is rumored.
Yeah.
But if you deny obviously a good package, then it's on them.
Yeah, obviously. But at the end of the day, you don't need to rush that part.
So with that being said, essentially we're saying Cooper Flag is your piece. Do you sell high on Derek Lively, or do you keep them?
No, man, you can't let Cooper.
Because you know how
Flag
like
play.
Utah's trying to trade Walker Kessler before Walker Kessler.
Don't
was
do
out
what the
year.
Phoenix Suns did with Devin Booker. We just put him in a pit of fire.
Yeah.
Or a burning organization, and just like had one thing that would just
okay.
put
So
in the water.
essentially, the building blocks we're saying at the moment, and we're hoping for Dallas Mavericks' sake, fan and franchise, that they get one of the top 3 guys available. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The perfect situation you said might be the point guard, shooting guard, Darren Peterson from Kansas. But even if they get Boozer and Bonsta, that's fine. You still have the 2-wing combo there as well. But Lively, a solid center rotation, like role player in Lively. And you have a solid role player, a young guy in Max Christie. I'm like, he's not untouchable, don't get me wrong. Like, if he's going to be available for a trade because he only has another year left on the contract on a cheap contract, you trade him. But you'll have some solid young pieces then with for
Cooper
to get going, right? So that's the roster part of things. To close it out now, Jason Kidd. I feel like Jason Kidd might just leave on his own.
That's his only man. Jason
But
Kidd.
if it's a new GM coming, they want their own guy. You can see a world where Jason Kidd's gone.
Yeah,
Whether it's his choice or not.
It doesn't. It's gonna be his choice at the end. I'm surprised he didn't leave himself already.
Yeah.
Personally, but overall, yeah, like Jason Kidd is not like this is the least of their worries, because at the end of the day, we saw this guy, like in this past, develop teams. We saw this guy in assistant roles with the Lakers, who did a great job there.
Which got him the Dallas job.
Getting the Dallas job, took his team to the finals, helped elevate Luka's game, getting the best out of Kyrie Irving. So overall, we just know this guy's a solid head coach, and he's excelled in every situation. So Jason Kidd is the least of their worries, right? Even if they move on from him, it's probably going to be a parting of ways or him
Like
leaving.
some mutual agreement.
But overall, if they want to like do a full refresh, yeah, Jason Kidd probably gone. But Jason Kidd's the least of their worries. That's an issue.
It's got to be a clean house situation in the front office for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing they don't have to worry about at all is Jason Kidd.
But that pretty much wraps it up for us. Like, what's next for this Dallas Mavericks team? Comment down below what you guys think should happen with this team. How should they go ahead and build this team out in the future, especially if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan. Once again, hit the subscribe button. We're almost at 1,100 subscribers. We want to get there before the end of this year. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.